What is good people? You are now listening to another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth, and today, once again, we have an extremely special guest. I met this good brother over Twitter through our mutual friend Rick, we're all diehard UNC fans. If you go to this man's IG, you know two things. This man loves baseball, and this man reps the state of North Carolina hard.
Facts.
Gotta respect it. From Pittsboro, North Carolina, currently residing in Winston-Salem, Little League coach. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the homie Jay Braze in the building. Jay Braze, what's good, bro?
Not much, man. How you doing today?
Man, I'm all good over here, man. So we're gonna get right into it. Just start off with some of your earliest baseball memories.
Well, my earliest memories are actually softball, not necessarily baseball.
Okay.
My dad was he played on a traveling softball team when I was little. They went all over like the southeast playing travel softball, and they were like sponsored, so they get bats and jerseys and uniforms and stuff. They go all over and travel, and the joke always was that I was going to be born on that softball field because my mom was there every weekend with them, obviously. So so that was really my first experience, just traveling, watching him play softball around around the whole southeast, like Florida, Tennessee, obviously North Carolina, Virginia, and stuff
Wow.
like that. Yeah, so they were pretty big time in that.
Man,
But
cool.
my first baseball experience was probably UNC baseball. I grew up Pittsboro is like 15 minutes south of Chapel Hill,
Okay.
so I was always at UNC games.
Cool. So what players were there around that time?
That was wow, you don't put me on the spot. That was back when what was his name? Second baseman. He played for the Orioles for a minute.
Oh gosh, his name is right on the tip of my tongue, too.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of it. Was at that time there wasn't Mike Fox wasn't even there yet. So what UNC baseball wasn't like a thing yet. So I don't even really remember honestly. I
Okay.
was just a little kid running around Boston.
So I know exactly who you're talking because that was right around the time. Wasn't BJ Surhoff with them at that time too?
He played he was with the Orioles. He played in the 80s
Okay.
at Carolina, I think. So that was a little bit before my time.
Got you. So is that what kickstarted your love for baseball?
Yeah, aside from like I said, my dad doing softball, and he was always a Baltimore Orioles fan, so we would kick back and on the weekends and watch Cal Ripken and all that good stuff on the um on the weekends and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Playing Little League baseball really it's why I'm a coach now. That's what got me into loving baseball. Just being out in the field, running around, having fun, and that's what I try to strive to teach my kids when I'm coaching these years.
Cool. So what position did you play in Little League?
If it was on the infield, I played it. I didn't really play outfield too much, but I was all around the diamond, all around the infield. But I settled on third base and first base.
Right on. And speaking of coaching Little League and being from Pittsboro, apparently you coached a player who was committed to play basketball at UNC. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. What was his first name? Powell was his last name. I'm sorry, you
Drake
got me
Powell.
nervous. Drake Powell. It's my first podcast. So I'm a little nervous
It's all
on
good.
the. Yeah, Drake Powell. He was 10 years old. I coached the 9 and 10-year-old team in Pittsburgh, and yeah, he led us to a championship. Actually, his 10-year-old. It was him and another dude, Jacob. They were our flamethrowers. You could only throw 3 innings a game
Okay.
at that age, and we would literally just throw them back to back, and they just took us straight to the championship. And
Wow.
yeah, like we went undefeated that whole year, and that's that. I mean, 9 and 10-year-old, that's kind of unheard of, you know what I
It
mean?
really is.
But yeah, but he basically he almost could hit the ball. He always got a home run at 9 years old when he like coaching him. Like, that's how good he was. He was always the best player in the league, and we just happened to get him as a 10-year-old, and he just took it straight to the championship. But the thing I liked about him the most, his parents like let us coach him hard, and he was like willing to be coached. So that was real. That's really it. Really turned me on to him. You know what I'm saying? And he was like,
Yeah.
he always told me though, he was like, Coach, I'm going to play at UNC basketball though. I love baseball, but I'm going to UNC to play basketball. And here we are, I guess.
Hey, didn't his father play baseball at UNC?
I have to like I'm gonna say I don't know a lot, but I don't know.
Okay, I'm thinking he did. I could have read it wrong.
Yeah, I didn't even go into that far to be completely honest with you.
I got you. So now let's get into your fandom, the Cincinnati Reds.
Absolutely.
How'd you become a Cincinnati Reds fan?
So there's twofold on that. So my uncle is from right across the Ohio River in Kentucky.
Okay.
So once he married into the family and had my cousins and stuff like that, it kind of he was my cool cousin and my cool uncle that we didn't get to see a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always kind of wanted to be kind of like them a little bit, and they were Reds fans. So I kind of picked it up real early. But then in 1990, they won the World Series, and I was hitched. You know what I'm saying? That's all it took for me, and I've been a fan ever since.
Dope. Man, that team was fun to watch, man.
Yeah, they led wire to wire.
Yeah.
They led the division wire to wire.
And one of my favorite things to do as a kid was I would always switch the radio to the AM dial, and it just blew my mind the stations I could pick up. And my summer ritual, I'd be in my room playing my Sega Genesis, and I'd flip the radio to the AM dial, and the two stations I could always pick up crystal clear was WFAN in New York and WLW in Cincinnati.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was nothing for me to just all the way in Moncks Corner, South Carolina, playing my Sega Genesis, listening to Cincinnati Reds games.
That's crazy. Yeah,
man. So who were some of your favorite players as a Reds fan?
Well, my favorite player ever in the history of baseball is Barry Larkin.
Yes, sir.
And he's like the reason I'm number 11 at everything I do. Like it was him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Him. I think actually, so I've listened to all your episodes, and no one's mentioned Eric Davis yet.
ED.
That was 44. My guy. He might have been the most athletic person on that 1990 team. He might have been the most talented person on that 1990 team.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get the respect he deserves at all.
You're right.
And then of course he had the injury and stuff like that ended his career short. But
yeah,
it is what it is on that. But Chris Sabo was one of my guys. Played third base. I played third as well. Yeah. And I wore rec specs too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was my guy, and so they found that court back, and I was like, I don't know if I can pull for you, but it is what it is. He said he didn't do it, but who knows?
Yeah, I had a teammate in Little League that wore the rec specs, man. Shout out to my dog Jimmy Whaley, and I always envied him because I always wanted to play with the rec specs.
Yeah, it was. It's funny once you can see the ball, it's a lot easier.
That's true.
I was blind.
In hindsight, I should have worn them because, yeah,
but. Yeah, going back to that team though, the Nasty Boys, coming out the bullpen, the three-headed monster.
Yeah.
You get was it Norm Charlton, Rob Dibble, and Randy Myers?
Yes, sir.
Once you get to the seventh inning, it was over.
Yeah.
It was pretty much over.
Dibble slammed that short, and Dibble would slam that door shut.
Yeah, that crazy dude. He was a wild boy. They all wild boys, but but really that was my dudes on that team. Eric Davis was, like I said, Barry Larkin was my favorite, but Eric Davis was probably the best player on that team.
Yeah,
I really believe that for sure.
Man, I got to give a shout out to my South Carolina native, my dog Pokey Reese, the second base, Columbia, South Carolina's finest.
Absolutely, he I met him once. He was a nice dude.
Really,
real nice dude. Yeah. So one of my friends played like I don't know what it's called. It's kind of like older ball, like 30, 35, 40-year-old people playing ball. And he played with Pokey, you know what I mean? And so he introduced me once, and he was real cool dude.
Nice.
Real cool dude.
So what were some of your favorite memories as a Cincinnati Reds fan?
Obviously the World Series, 1990. Really, we haven't had many good memories, to be completely honest with you. We haven't been too good for 30, 40 years, but other than the World Series, probably my favorite memory is I was sitting in a restaurant in Pittsburgh, and my cousin ran in and yelled, "We got him, talking about Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, wow.
When we traded him.
Yeah.
And I remember where I was at still to this day, and that was like one of my favorite memories. And then
awesome.
then 1998, we went to the 1-game playoff with the Braves, and the Braves beat us in that 1-game playoff. But we don't have too many good memories.
So, who were some of your favorite non-Reds players, like past and present?
Past and present. Griffey. I mean, that's if you're our age. I mean, he's the dude. You know what I'm saying? Probably the best player I've ever seen. I think you have him as the GOAT is Barry. You know, Barry Bonds. That's the dude. I mean, I have all the same guys. I actually love Jay Buhner. I actually really like the Mariners team of that. You know, I was a Jay Buhner fan, and both the Martinez brothers. You know, Edgar and Tino.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's see them. Let's see. We got. I'm trying to think here. I mean, all the big guys. I mean, I was even Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, just having fun watching them hit bombs all day. You know, what can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I used to. Yeah, I used to love. I really did like Roger Clemens, just because he was a beast on that mound. Like,
yeah.
He was so. You didn't want to mess with him. You know what I'm saying? he was ready to go at any time, and I kind of enjoyed that with my pictures of that day. Randy Johnson, same thing.
Oh yeah.
When he exploded that bird, it's still funny.
That's like some Halley's Comet shit there.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere and just blew that thing up.
Man, sucks for that bird, but
yeah. Andrew Jones was my guy, even though I really did not like the Braves, but Andrew Jones was my guy.
Yeah.
I was kind of a hater growing up, so I hated the Braves because everyone else loved them, type deal. You know what I'm saying? But Andrew Jones was my guy.
Man, that's dope. And that's kind of the reason why I became a Rangers fan, is because everybody named Mama. I mean, living in Braves country, and I just wanted to choose a different team, pick a team that nobody else had. So that's who I went with.
Yeah. That's why you're a Rangers fan? Yeah. I was wondering that.
Yeah. Well,
that's what's up.
I was intrigued by Nolan Ryan, but the first Rangers game I saw on TV was the person who really caught my eye was Julio Franco.
He's the elbow up.
He's the reason why I became a Rangers fan.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So now, yes, sir. So now we're going to round third and get into the 5 question segment. So these are 5 questions. First and last question I ask every guest I have on here. Questions 2 through 4 are 100% random. So question number 1, what were the ideal items on Jay Braze's school lunch tray?
So I think I was lucky with this. My mom used to fix my lunch for most of me growing up. So I used to take my lunch, just a sandwich and chips and stuff, whatever. But when I did get school lunch, I used to love the chicken pan pie. I don't know what was about it, like a chicken pot pie. They just scoop it out into your tray. I used to love that for some reason. And then the peaches in the syrup. I used to love that for dessert.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. And those those triangle juices that used to be free, like half frozen when you're drinking.
That's the only way to do it. That's the only way to do it.
Absolutely. So that was probably, if I was getting it from the school, that would be my tray right there.
Okay. Yeah. Give me that half frozen orange pineapple juice. I don't need nothing else.
Absolutely. I used to rock with a grape too, though. But
Y'all had grape. Oh, see, I grew up in the wrong school district. Y'all had Popeye and the half frozen grape cartons. Man, I'm high key hating now. Let's see. Question number 2. What was your favorite NES baseball game?
NES baseball game. I mean, probably was RBI baseball. That was at NES, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't have too many game systems growing up, so I can't remember what goes with what. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, RBI works. All right. Question number 3. What's the best concert you ever attended?
Best concert I ever attended. Let's see. That's a good one because I've been to a few good ones. But the last big one I went to, actually, I take that back. I'm gonna go in a completely different direction. It just popped in my head.
Okay.
Was it 2017, 2018? I saw Anderson Paak. I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name. And Raleigh, and he played so long. He played 3 different encores. He came back out 3 times and played.
Wow.
And this dude was just murdering the stage with his with his band in the back, and he would jump on the drums and do his thing. That was probably at least it's top three definitely. I don't know if I can say favorite, but it's top three for sure.
Okay. Was he performing with the Free Nationals?
Yeah, the Free Nationals. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's a monster on them drums, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Question number 4. Who's a musical artist that people would be surprised that you're a big fan of?
Well, I don't know if it's a surprise because she's one of the GOATs, but Aretha Franklin. I love Aretha. I listen
Good
to her
call.
every Sunday morning. I got her vinyls on playing.
Yeah.
So probably Aretha.
What's your favorite song by her?
Let's see. Dang. Let me look it real quick. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay,
trash
go
with
ahead.
names.
Take your time, man.
No, I feel bad. Like I said, I get nervous and I clam up a little bit. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good, man. I'll tell you my favorite Aretha song. My favorite Aretha song is Ain't No Way.
Yeah, that's up there.
I love
That's
that
up
record.
there. We can go with that because I will play that. It's on my favorite album that I play. We'll go with that.
Okay, because any Aretha song, that's the one that makes me think of like Sundays the most, is that one.
Facts.
It's just got such a slow drag to it. I love it. So question number 5. What was the last thing that made you laugh uncontrollably?
So Sunday, I don't know if you like The Office, the TV show The Office, or not.
I never seen it.
Never seen it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't love it. They have their stands, you know what I'm saying? I don't love it that much, but I was showing my friend who had never seen the basketball episode of The Office. And if you haven't seen it, I would suggest you watch that episode. You don't even have to watch anything else. And we just curled up on the couch just laughing at these dudes. Like just Michael Scott, who's the main character, he acts like he's in the Harlem Globetrotters and he's throwing shots off the rafters and just like not even it's hilarious. And that's probably the last thing we really uncontrollably laughed at.
Is that the one where that dude Stanley? He's in the tracksuit. Yes. He's dribbling all janky, and his back arm is like this.
Yes, that's that one. So Michael Scott kind of picked him up because he's the black guy in the office.
Yeah,
and it was not what he thought it was going to be.
I just remember seeing the GIF of Stanley dribbling a ball, and that cracks me up every single time I watch it.
That's the one.
You know, I need to get into watching The Office because I hear a lot of good stuff about it. So I'm gonna check that episode. I'm gonna check that series out.
Give the first six seasons a go. After that, it kind of slows down, in my opinion. But.
Okay. So is there anything you want to plug or promote?
Nah, if y'all want to follow me, I'm J Braze, JBRAZE 23 on Twitter and Instagram. And I think I might be able to meet you Sunday for that game.
Yes, sir. Let's go. I'm with it.
See you in Kernersville.
Yes, sir.
Or not Kernersville, Kannapolis.
It's Kannapolis, yeah. So first pitch is at 1:00.
I'll bet it's a day game. I can make it up.
Okay. Man, so it was awesome, man. I'm glad I was able to be your first podcast appearance, man.
Yeah, I hope I hope the sound goes good because I feel like I was stuttering a little bit because I'm a little nervous. But
man, you're fine, man. My first appearance, I was nervous too, but you know, we power through it. So
yeah, that's what's up, man.
Make sure you like, download, and subscribe to At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. And if you're still listening, I greatly appreciate you. For Jay Braze and myself, this has been another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. And until next time,
peace.
Y'all be good. 3 strikes.